This was a great chapter. I call it the calm before the storm because this chapter was a build up to what we know will be a showdown in the upcoming chapters. Looks like Ryu was playing dumb all along. He knew Yodo was going to double cross him the whole time, so he used the Thorn Soul as bait. I didn't think the Shinju could just take out their Thorn Souls how Ryu demonstrated. It was interesting to see Ryu just readily agree to using it as bait to lure out Boruto, but the whole time he knew the Sand and Leaf Ninja wouldn't be able to resist it, so it was a good play by him. Matsuri, on the other hand, did the predictable move and spazzed out when Konohamaru basically implied that only Moegi calls him Konohamaru-chan, and she lost it. So in the next chapter or two, we'll have Konohamaru versus Matsuri and Ryu versus Sarada, Mitsuki, Yodo, and Araya. I'm looking forward to seeing how Konohamaru does, and also I want to see if Sarada will use her Mangekyo Sharingan. I've been waiting to see what abilities that she'll come to possess. But the real meat and potatoes of this chapter was the conversation between Kawaki and Amado. Kawaki did have Amado pinned up against the wall at the end of the last chapter, but at the start of chapter 18, Amado put Kawaki to sleep with the Shutdown code that he has. When Kawaki awoke, Amado spoke on his terms on bringing Kawaki to full power. Amado had a spare body of Delta, a clone that he wanted Kawaki to place the karma on to revive Akebi. Kawaki basically said that bringing him to full power comes first, and that Amado has his word that he'll put karma on the Delta clone under the premise that if she revives into an Otsutsuki that Kawaki would kill her on the spot. Kawaki basically doesn't have a problem with putting the karma on the Delta clone, it's just that he wants the power to destroy those who he deems are a threat right now. The Shinju, Boruto, and Code. Until all three of them are dealt with, Kawaki said he won't be placing the karma onto the Delta clone. Amado also has some interesting dialogue regarding Kawaki's power. He says that you're currently endowed with near immortal defensive and resuscitative powers, and that if he redirects all of that into offensive power, he can't guarantee Kawaki's survival. Basically, Amado is afraid of making Kawaki a glass cannon, so strong, but if he gets hit once, he might go down. I find it a bit odd that a scientist as good as Amado can't modify the parameters, and so where it will be, he'll have great defensive and offensive capabilities at the same time. But let me hold off on saying that, because we don't know everything regarding Kawaki's scientific body. Amado could still reveal some new stuff that we as the readers don't know yet. But Kawaki saying that he won't revive Akebi until everyone is dealt with really got me wondering. So has Kawaki still not placed the karma onto Akebi at the start of the scene where Boruto and Kawaki are fighting in the first episode on top of the monument? I feel like Amado might potentially bribe Kawaki beforehand with even more power or modification so that he'll place the karma onto Akebi sooner rather than later. At nearly every stop and turn, Kawaki is constantly being stopped from getting access to his full power. And that in itself really shows how strong Ishiki is and how relevant he still is to the story. But if you ask me, I definitely think Amado will try to bribe Kawaki before he gets rid of all the Shinju, Code, and Boruto to put the karma on the Delta clone. Because we know for a fact that Boruto isn't gonna die. Not in the normal sense anyway, because he is the main character. But like I said in one of my previous videos, I believe that Amado won't give Kawaki access to all of his power all at once. He'll constantly give Kawaki a little power and a little more and a little more. Keep bribing him until he finally puts the karma onto the Delta clone for his full power. But how did you guys like this chapter? I'm really hyped for what's going to come up in the upcoming chapters because they're going to be really action-packed. Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and if you haven't already, subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. Later.
俺は忍びだ。